Now are we bouncing? There we go.
Can you hear? Is it moving up and down?
Yeah, it's moving up and down now.
All right, we got it. Now you got sound. You're going to probably ask us to turn.
This is what
sound. Turn up. Put the music back on.
Yeah. We want the music back, please.
Yeah. We didn't realize you were talking about cockroaches and Periscope.
This is why we do the first 10 minutes, right? This is why we do it.
Right.
So thank you for pointing that out for us. Appreciate that.
That was your lovely wife, Michelle.
Thank you, honey. She's the bestest.
Bestest in the Westest. Let me see what I got. Michelle, can you hear us now? Let's see if we get a comment, because she says we were cutting in and out.
Yeah, I'm going to change that. We'll get better. I promise. We'll get better.
All right. Well, we can't get any worse. That's what I say.
When I'm sharing, I've got so many screens kind of going on. It's putting a lot of pressure on the computer. So that'll get better. It'll get better. I promise.
Well, I've shared it to my personal pages. All right, Jason Bates did text me. He said, "Are you ready?" ? And I'm writing back right now.
All right. And it says no.
And then what does it say?
Just kidding. Play by play. Let's see here.
She still says, especially Stefan is cutting in and out.
You're sounding good to me.
Well,
doesn't mean much.
I don't talk much anyway.
It'll get better here in just a second. Hang on.
I'm only about 18% of the show. Right.
Oh man. No, you are more than 50% of the show. Saying.
Are you calling me fat? Is this a weight thing?
That was a trap.
Yeah. Tricked me.
You tricked me.
I fell for it. Well, I'm going to reload my coffee. I'm ready to go. So
okay,
you do your thing. I'll be right back in about 40 seconds.
Yep, I'm just sharing with one last thing here.
All right. Be right back.
Okay. All right, I know it's kind of cutting in and out here. Hopefully it'll get better here, so hang in there with us, please.
Right.
Almost done. We're going to get started here in just a second. Saving it there. One last place here, and then I'm done sharing, and then we can get on with the show as soon as Stefan gets back here. Are you kidding me? There it is. Okay, so that should hopefully straighten things out here a little bit and make the stream a little more stable, hopefully. Hopefully. There we go. Looks like it's getting stable now, so that's good. My computer's calming down after all that sharing that we were doing. So we'll get started here in just a minute as soon as Stefan comes back. I don't know why. It must be a nervous habit of his. He's always getting coffee. Don't tell him I said this, but he's always getting coffee right when we're about ready to go on air. Here, he's coming back now. All right. I was just telling the audience there that it must be a nervous habit that you have because you're always getting coffee right when we're about to go on.
You know what it is, and it's not that the show's boring. It's just that I drink coffee in the morning.
Ouch! Ouch! Let me take that
Well,
dagger.
no, I said it wasn't that.
I know.
But we have hey, we're running out of our 10 minutes. Let's get this party started.
I know. We're gonna get this party started.
Yeah, the coffee is gives me something to do during some of the stuff, but it's good and it wakes me up and makes me think about stuff.
All right, cool. Let's do this. Hopefully, my sound isn't too loud. Yesterday, my mic was really hot, so I turned it down a little bit. So hopefully, it's not too bad
Yeah.
today. All right,
better.
cool. Let's do this like Brutus. The one and only Stephen Cotton, the realtor side of things. Let me give him some applause.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, yesterday you didn't give me an applause. You applauded yourself, and then there was crickets for Stefan. And here's Stefan. Chirp, chirp.
Well, we are here to hopefully entertain you, but more importantly, educate you about what's happening in real estate. We take 22 minutes of the day and talk about real estate and real estate related items, in particular here in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance property here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, we certainly would love to be your team of choice. So please reach out to us. Just if you're watching us there on Facebook, just make some comments there below the video or on our Facebook page, like the Facebook page. Over on YouTube, give us that thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.
We do this. We do the show daily, right? Monday through Friday, at 9, and we're fun. But what happens after the show is we actually get to work. So we're not all about the show. So seriously, if you're looking to buy, sell, refinance, or whatever, that's what we do for a living. That's what we do.
Yeah, this is our fun time. The rest of the time, it's serious time.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right after we get off this thing. Back to work.
Back to work. Back to work. All right, and I can play some little good sound.
Good call!
Ooh, that was loud. That was loud.
I liked it though. It has to be loud.
Good call.
That one has to be loud. Yeah.
That one has to be loud. There, a little Jim Carrey there for us. Hey, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. This is Throwback Thursday, by the way, but let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. All right. Here is a good tweet for people who are looking to purchase a home. This might be one of your New Year's resolutions. They're out there. We're only 2 months into the new year, right? 2017.
Yep.
A lot of people, I've heard people giving up on their New Year's resolutions already. I'm not much of a New Year's resolutions guy. Are you? Are you a resolutions guy?
Yeah, I made a resolution a long time ago for no more resolutions, and I've been holding that true from year end.
Oh, man, that is a
Good call!
good call.
The show just got better. I like it from your home office. The show just got 2 more points.
Give us some love out there on the Facebook.
Right.
Hey, this tweet quote of the day: if Plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters. Stay cool.
That's right.
Plan A,
and that's just the English alphabet.
Yeah, right.
I think the Russian has a few more, like 30 something.
Hey, I learned with Super Bowl just happening a couple weeks ago or whatever. I didn't know the Roman numeral for 51.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
I knew that from the back in the day in the 1984 cartoons that I used to watch, like G.I. Joe and stuff, Transformers.
Yeah.
It was like MCMXL.
Yeah.
Or it was like XXX IV for like 1984. But yeah.
Yeah. So it's all good. We learn something all the time, alphabets and all that kind of stuff. So you can always go to Plan B, Plan C. Hopefully he and I are Plan A. And then you want
I like Plan X. We can be Plan X, but have to rearrange the alphabet. I don't know.
Right.
X sounds extreme. We're Plan Extreme.
Plan Extreme.
But, yeah, we'll be Plan A.
All right, cool. Hey, let's get to Throwback Thursday. What do you say?
I'm ready.
Okay, Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday. This is the segment or the day of the week that we take questions that we get commonly asked and we throw back answers. You throw us questions and we throw back answers to those questions, or we try to anyway. Real estate related.
Right.
I want to touch on something a little bit that was a little bit. It's kind of a hot topic right now. Actually, it's all over our local news stations, radio, that sort of thing. It's a hot topic in the nation right now, and has been for quite some time. And it's the whole idea of sanctuary city. And the reason I want to talk about this a little bit, I wanted to talk about in the newsmakers yesterday, but I'm getting asked all the time, especially from the Hispanic community, hey, I don't know if I should buy a house. I may be deported, kind of thing. And so this sanctuary city thing has kind of come up. We've had recent, what's the lady, I don't know if she's down in Tucson or here in Phoenix, that was just recently deported because she had, I don't know, some criminal background or something like that and couldn't get her immigration status renewed or something like that.
And was she a homeowner, or was she just
well, she's
one
got,
of many that we...
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if she's a homeowner or not. I know she's got 2 children.
Okay.
So it's kind of a tragic kind of thing, but, you know, the line it's got to be drawn in the sand at some point, I guess. But so this whole thing of sanctuary city has come up in our city here in Phoenix. And I didn't know this when I was doing some research for this. Phoenix is not currently a sanctuary city, but it has been brought up that it could become a sanctuary city. Although yesterday it was voted that it will not become a sanctuary city, but it could come up again. Who knows? I don't know how this law stuff works and city council and stuff like that. It seems like it gets put down at one point and then it comes back and then revitalizes in another back door kind of. I don't know. I'm confused.
I think it all comes down to like rioters and stuff. Like the law wasn't written to the approval of everybody, so they have to tweak some of the new law to where everybody's satisfied for it to get to the ballots. Really, I think, right? I can't imagine it not getting to the ballots. I think there's probably some verbiage in there that they needed to clean up.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the saga will continue. But I didn't know this about sanctuary cities. They actually started down in the old Pueblo, down in Tucson, in the 1980s, from people fleeing violence in Guatemala and El Salvador. And they would seek asylum here in the United States, and they would go to our churches, and the churches would become mini sanctuaries for these immigrants, and therefore could not be deported. This was, though, before ICE and some of the other federal agencies had been put in place. And really the
ICE?
Yeah, I think enforcement, it's isn't it
illegal something?
Yeah, it's a division of the government that does immigration.
The thing for me is because I was thinking Sanctuary City, then I think Paradise City by Guns N' Roses, which was before ICE, like Vanilla Ice. So that's how I remember, or Ice Cube. So Sanctuary City was in the 80s,
behave.
Right.
Oh, behave.
You got too many buttons. But yeah, all right. I'm following you. I'm just trying to tell you how it makes sense in my head. Sanctuary City in the 80s, like Paradise City by Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, you are keeping it real, man. You're keeping it down to earth, man.
But Tucson was one of the OG of the sanctuary cities.
Yeah, right here in Arizona. Now, the Supreme Court upheld a law during litigation over the Arizona Senate Bill 1070, SB 1070, and this was a big thing. I started a podcast, and I don't want to cross-pollinate here a little bit, but I started that podcast because of SB 1070 and the I don't know, the fever behind it, if you will, on immigration. Because there were a lot of people talking about immigration, how it's going to hurt housing and how it's going to do this and that. I don't know. Would a sanctuary city help housing or hurt housing?
Help.
You think it would help?
Yeah. Well, we could debate it or we can get into the deep of it, but I would think it would help the city. One, if you have a sanctuary city, people come here and then maybe their families and stuff come here too. Right. It's the whole adage of, my wife is from a small town in California and they built a prison over there. And the real estate kind of went towards the inmates' families. So you have a sanctuary, not criminals, right? So it's different. But I would think that it would increase the market, right? People buying more groceries here, buying more economy, buying more houses, and it just I think, but that's me being, I don't know, uneducated on the topic. But
well, there's two sides to every story, right? So who knows? Right. I don't know if it would or not. In one hand, it may help housing, and the other hand, it may hurt some
values.
Schools and put pressure on other things.
Okay. Right.
With people being paid cash, not really being paid and paying their taxes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. But Phoenix decided yesterday that we will not become a sanctuary city, and I feel like, at least not anytime soon, I feel like that politicians are using this as leverage to do other things right now. Mayor Stanton is kind of siding with, hey, maybe we will become a sanctuary city, while Governor Ducey is saying, no, it's not going to happen. So you got the mayor of the city saying one thing, and you got the governor saying another. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, on the other hand, too, the other advocates are saying, hey, Phoenix would lose a lot of funding, federal funding, which means, and this is why this kind of ties into housing, in my opinion, we then could lose some of our down payment assistance programs as a result, which could in turn hurt housing a little bit.
If we ever become a sanctuary city, we might lose federal funding because.
Yeah. Well, that's what Donald Trump is saying. In sanctuary cities, they'll pull federal funding for that.
He also said Mexico is going to pay for that wall.
I know.
I don't know.
Well, they're all liars. All politicians are liars. They're all liars.
Well, he's not even a politician. He learned to lie right away.
Yeah.
It's rule number 1. Can you lie? This is my real hair.
So
yes, you're qualified for a politician.
Yeah, no, he's he's talking a tough game. Now, having said that, yesterday the Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ all hit record highs.
Yeah.
Based on what he's saying. Now, whether it's a lie or not, I don't know, which is kind of fueling some things. I was listening to the radio on the way to the grocery store last night, and talk radio was talking about that there may be another bubble as a result.
Whenever you get record highs, let's think about it this way. If you're higher than you've never been before, are you more likely to go higher, or you're more likely to come back down? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like when you hit rock bottom, are you more likely to go even further than rock bottom, or are you likely to pick yourself up and start hedging upwards? So, are we getting towards a bubble? Logic says yes, because we're as high as we've ever been. Now, if a comfortable level was maybe 1,000 below on the Dow Jones, and that's where we're at, and people are getting their 6% rate of returns in the market, or 8% rate of returns, or whatever, and that's a steady thing, then we're saying we're just in a healthy market. But it's hard to say that if you get as high as you possibly can, and we're still going upwards, are we eventually going to come down?
Yeah, at some point, right? It's just how hard we crash, how fast we come down. We still got little jitters from what just happened, 7-8 years ago. So a lot of people on edge. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I was at an open house, and one of the ladies there, who's owns an insurance company for a lot of commercial. She does a lot of commercial real estate insurance coverage for even new projects, new apartment buildings that are going up. They all have to have insurance, right? For their workers, and I'm sure casualty or whatever it is to cover their employees while building the buildings. And she's saying a lot of those guys are in fear of some things that could drive the market downward. So I don't know. I don't personally see it. I don't know.
Does it affect us? There's that line in that song I sing. I sing sometimes. Song of the South. Remember that song? Cotton on the roadside, cotton in the ditch. We all picked cotton, but we never got rich. Remember that one? I like Alabama.
No.
Anyways, song of the South, sweet potato pie and I shut my mouth.
No, getting it.
Okay. Anyways, there's a line in the song that says, "Somebody told us Wall Street fell, but we were so poor we couldn't tell." It's not our thing to see what's going on.
Right.
But I wanted to add this. We talked about 7 years ago, the market went down, like the real estate market. Right. 7 years before that, the stock market went down. Remember, with all the .coms.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon, and maybe it's a 7-year cycle, maybe it's an 8-year cycle. It's something gets adjusted, right?
Right.
Do we crash? Do we burn this time, or do we just get it adjusted? That's the real question. I mean, are prices fair today? Yeah, they're fair today. They're not overpriced.
Yeah,
I mean, these appraisers are doing a really good job of keeping the things at value versus speculation these days. 8 years ago, I don't think they do what they do now as far as keeping appraised values where they're at. So I think
that's a very good point, Stefan, because yesterday, as a matter of fact, speaking of appraisers, yesterday on a new build, I had an appraisal come back, and the appraisal came back like 225 was the sales price. The appraisal came in at 216, so $9,000 less. So is that keeping it in check, or because there's two sides to every story, right? So the seller, the builder's like, hey, no, it's worth this. And the buyer's like, hey, I don't want to overpay for the property. So now builders sometimes can overprice, or maybe to do incentives, they'll cut prices, which kind of shoots themselves in the foot a little bit because they're not really setting the standard for the neighborhood.
Well, you buy a new build, you're buying at the premium price. The issue with most new builds is the 300% markup you get when you go through I want this flooring, I want this, cabinets. That's where maybe it is only worth 216 if you compare it to the house next door that's 2 years older.
Right.
So I think the appraiser is looking at apples to apples and saying yes, but he's not looking at apples to apples because it's brand new versus right off the. Because once you roll that car off the lot, then it's depreciated. Right. Once this house closes, it does a little adjustment anyway.
Right.
So brand new 225. Once you take it out for a spin, then 216. I say, but.
Yeah, I mean, you're right though. Appraisers in some aspects, a lot of people have complained about appraisers not being a little more aggressive. And keeping everything in check. From a seller's perspective, that's not a good thing. You want your house to sell for more, especially those people who are still on that edge, that bubble, who are right on the edge to be able to sell, but at the same time not be upside down. Or if they get a lower value, they could end up having to bring money to the table. So,
is it an FHA offer?
It is. It is an FHA.
So I've been talking about this the last probably 2 years now. FHA appraisers get punished, like they get an X. Speaking of the X factor, they get 3 X's when they appraise too high.
Yeah.
Once they get the third strike, then they're off of your lender's appraisal list. So they're punished for appraising high. They're not punished for appraising low. So if I'm an appraiser and I have a family to feed, am I going to appraise it at value if I'm even questioning it? I mean, maybe the market's kind of showing the trends upward, but do I get 3 strikes and not feed my family?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a good point.
So if I'm an appraiser, if it's FHA, I'm appraising low because it doesn't hurt me. I got paid. It doesn't hurt me. I got paid. My family got paid. If I appraise high and make everybody else happy, I might lose my job.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now, appraisers, we've talked about this on the show too. There aren't many appraisers out there right now, and there's not a lot of appraisers coming into the field of appraising properties, and so that's caused a shortage a little bit, and therefore the appraisers that are out there, there's real no competition for them to be more aggressive on homes, on values. Not that we want them to, we don't want them to. That's not the point here, but at the same time, from a seller's perspective, they want them to be aggressive. On a buyer's side, they don't want them to be aggressive. So there is a tussle, a tug of war going on there for sure. Hey,
isn't that why we created the CFDs? I mean, CFDs in 2000 because we were building them for more than what we're selling them for.
Yeah.
We see CFDs announced in Buckeye, but it's on it. Most houses that are built in 2000, sometimes it's in the HOA. There's a secondary HOA that covers this. Sometimes it's in the taxes. That's why Goodyear's taxes are a little higher than Avondale and Buckeye. I go to the right and to the left, Avondale and Buckeye.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Goodyear. So to the right of me is Avondale, to the left of me is Buckeye. But our taxes in Goodyear, I think, cover for the CFD. Meanwhile, in Buckeye, it's a transferable $3,500 thing that you pay off throughout time.
Right.
But so I think, and I forget the point of it. This is why I drink coffee to kind of keep me focused. But if you were watching the pre-show,
come here.
Zinger.
But the idea, the idea is that the builders are charging more, or they cost more to build, and right now they're at the equilibrium. It costs us as much as what we sell for. They're not making a lot of money on these properties. They might increase $4,000 or something for a lot premium or something, right. But it is tight, and they make their money on the retail stuff like the flooring and the cabinets and the doorknobs and the light fixtures.
I was speaking to the builder, and the builder was like, "Hey, we're selling a lot of specs. There's a lot of specs out there right now, and they don't make a lot of money when they're carrying those things. So, and they're trying to cut the price on those to move them, to get them moved." Hey, I wanted to touch base with you too on good time to sell, good time to buy. There was a thing yesterday. Well, two things. We got two things I want to cover real quick. Good time to buy, sell, February. Is that a good time to buy or sell? And then second thing, we're speaking of Buckeye there. I read a recent article that Buckeye's water and the charge for water is kind of going out of control. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have a flip over there, and we put grass in there. And I called my guy about halfway through. I was like, "How much to change that to fake grass?" And it was like $5,000 more. So we're going to put this house on the market, and if the buyers say we don't want grass because the water, it's true. I wouldn't say it's out of control, but it's higher than most any other part in the valley. There's a Cross River subdivision that's north of Sun City that's pretty high as well. We from about 3 years ago or something, but it's still high. But the private water company in Buckeye is ridiculous. So when you're buying in Buckeye, you want to find out what they're spending on water to make it worth your while to move it that way. If not,
yeah.
So I answered that question, but Michelle actually answered our question, what ICE stands for, and it's Immigration Customs Enforcement.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you, honey.
I had immigrations. You had enforcement. It was just she's the meat to our sandwich.
She is. She's the Google. She Googled it. Maybe she knew that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she already knew that.
Yeah.
But so thank you, honey, for answering that for us earlier there. Good. Okay, so last minute here. Good time to buy, sell. Which is it? February. Is it a good time? Arizona is like hot right now. It's beautiful weather. A lot of activity going on.
We have so many people in town. We have so many people visiting. We have friends and family on vacation. We have snowbirds in town. Mm-hmm. If you're not on the market today and you're going to wait until they leave, then that you're shooting yourself in the foot. So it's a good time to sell. We are still at record low interest rates. We're below 5%.
Yeah.
So if you're on the fence on whether to buy or not, take that tax return money for the down payment. It's still a great time to buy. So the answer is both in this situation. February is a winner chicken dinner month. And in fact, next month I call it March Madness because that's when people are getting their checks back. And that's when they're making offers on houses. That's when they're deciding to move to houses with schools, better schools, or upgrade. That's when they're making the transition because they're going to close like in April or May.
Yeah, absolutely.
But February, if you're not on the market in February, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
It is a good time to buy. I can't. This is the best time. In fact, from here until about, I would say, May, June, kind of dictates the rest of the year for Arizona. This is a great time to put your house on the market and buy property, as you said, with interest rates being very, very low. And so, speaking of which, if you're looking to do either one of those things, we want to be your choice. We want to earn your business. We don't want to just, be there. We want to actually earn your business. So that's the point of this show, is to help educate you and entertain you, but more importantly, educate you about what's going on in real estate. So hopefully we accomplish that.
We know more about real estate than most of the people. That's why we talk so much. But I mean, you can ask your lender these questions and see how they answer it. You can ask your realtor these questions, see how they answer it, and you can compare us apples to apples. I'll take that challenge all day long. Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to add about the time to buy is now, because the Pathway to Purchase down payment assistance program, those funds are depleting, and I don't know if they'll be here in March, or I doubt they'll be here in April, maybe a little bit in March. But so the time to buy is now if you're looking for maybe a 0% down program. There's other deep down payment assistance programs. We call them DPAs for short, but there's a few DPAs out there still. Yes. But one of the major ones that's been very successful for us is going away because the funds are being used up because it's very successful.
Yeah, it is being utilized quite a bit. So call us. You have to call us. But first, before you call us, like our Facebook page if you would. Share with your friends and family. Head over to our YouTube page and give us that thumbs up if you would, and follow us here on Twitter. So we'll return tomorrow with a Feature Friday and Reflection Friday. Stefan's going to send me some pictures, right?
Right.
The Feature Friday.
Yeah, hit the market. Just hit the market.
Beautiful.
We got 4 listings that are hitting on the market in the next 4 weeks. So we're get them up and knock them out.
All right, cool. So we'll showcase that property tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow at 9:00 Arizona time. And until then, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.